name is CeCe Buliro, and welcome to Our Youth Matters Kids Talk. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing real estate developer James Montague. Hello, Mr. Montague. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and attend this interview. Tell me a little bit about your background and like where your entrepreneurial initiative stem from specifically.
Okay. Sure. Well, my name is James Monte Montague, born and raised in Southeast Raleigh. I actually grew up with Robert. So we grew up in Southgate, an area of Southeast Raleigh that has needed development for years. I started out cutting hair in my mother's kitchen when I was like 13, 14 years old for 50 cents a head. I used to cut his hair.
You told me about that,
and all
yeah.
the little project kids. So I cut everybody's hair for like 50 cents. And we played Atari video games and sat around and drank Kool-Aid and all that kind of stuff when we was in the projects.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how exactly did you meet Mr. Robert Mitchener, our founder?
We probably met on the basketball court or playing in the creek. That's what we used to do. We all used to play in the creek or play basketball or kickball or something like that. So somewhere in the projects we met.
And so when exactly did your passion or like desire for real estate begin?
The desire for real estate began probably when I was, say, in my mid to early 20s. That's when I did my first project. I bought my first piece of property when I was 26.
Yeah. And has this always been your passion, or when exactly did this begin like to become a career for you, like a business?
Well, my passion was riding dirt bikes.
Yeah.
That's what I really wanted to do. And I started real estate development when I finished my cosmetology career, because I went into barbering and cosmetology, but I had some health issues when I was in my mid-20s that made it so that I could not go back to doing what I loved, which was barbering and cosmetology. So that's why I started doing real estate development and just took it from there.
And would you say the health issues were like redirection for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a pivot, a hard pivot for me. Sometimes you don't pivot because you want to, you pivot because you have to, and that was a have to type thing for me.
Yeah, and do you think if that didn't happen, you would still be doing cosmetology today?
I absolutely would. Yeah. I would have because I loved it. I was a platform.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask.
I was really good, and I was a platform artist, so I traveled around the country. I did photo shoots. I was really good at doing that.
Yeah.
But I worked 7 days a week, 14, 15 hours a day. My eating habits were not right. I was just not really balanced like I should have been.
Yeah,
so I abused myself in that way, and it made it so I had to actually pivot.
And how was the journey for you pivoting from being a cosmetologist to getting into real estate? How did you make your connections, things of that nature?
I would like to say it was easy. However, it was really not. It was very difficult. When you go from a background of barbering cosmetology into real estate development, it's not a smooth transition, especially, you didn't have the tools that we have nowadays. Right now we have like YouTube, you've got Google, you have all these types of social media platforms and online sources that you can refer to and use as resources to get into whatever field of endeavor you want to do. That did not exist back in the 90s. So I had to learn from the school of hard knocks, making mistakes. I made plenty of mistakes, lost a whole bunch of money, messed up some opportunities. I mean, it's a whole bunch of things that I had to do then that I would not have had to do right now.
And who helped you through that? How are your connections, networking, especially because I think you mentioned you grew up in Southeast Raleigh, so who was there on your back burner, just there to help you, your support system?
Well, honestly, I didn't have a lot of people to help me. I didn't have anybody that I knew that actually really did development other than, say, John Winters, which was one of the major black developers in the time. But he was 80 years old by the time I started.
Yeah.
So that wasn't really too much of a resource for me. But I had to learn a lot of stuff just through studying and researching and reading, taking courses, classes, just kind of throwing myself into the development field.
Yeah.
At the time when I started, I didn't even know it was real estate development. I just knew I wanted to build buildings, and I wanted to own buildings, and I wanted to lease to people in underserved areas. I didn't even know it was called real estate development at the time. I just wanted to provide a service and serve the community.
Yeah. And so all of the experience that you do have now, I seen while I was researching that you have an initiative to just give back to Southeast Raleigh specifically.
Yes.
And so what exactly are you doing, not only for the youth, I mean, especially for the youth, but can you speak more about the things that you're doing there for Southeast Raleigh?
Sure. Well, I mean, for years I've done mentorship. I've talked to youth groups, schools, done classes. What we're doing now is we've just finished our newest shopping center on Rock Quarry Road, right beside Southeast Raleigh High School. I bought some land there about 2.5 years ago for $500,000 for like 2 acres. And I built a $4.3 million shopping center there. With the purpose of doing a portion of it as a STEM learning and career training readiness center. We finished the shopping center, and now we're working with our partners at different corporations and organizations to use that as a platform and almost like a vortex to be able to create opportunities and show them that they can be either hired with these jobs, or they can be entrepreneurs, or trained in fields of science, technology, engineering, and math related to building trades. You know, a lot of young people don't realize that the type of money that are in these building trades. HVAC is a huge thing. Plumbing is huge. Concrete, sheetrock, those types of trades right now, and you can name your price, because there are not a lot of people that are focused on those types of trades.
Yeah.
So those are the types of initiatives that we're doing in Raleigh and in Durham.
And what specifically are you doing in Durham? Are you also trying to do a STEM center there as well?
So in Durham, we're doing what's called the F7 Innovation Center on Fayetteville Street. We already acquired the land as a part of an RFP through the Durham Housing Authority. So we're doing a 5-story building there, complete with a grocery store on the bottom floor, child care center on the first floor, and then we're doing Innovation Technology STEM Center on the top 3 floors.
And then, is this also with because you're the F7 development owner?
Yes.
Is it? Yes.
I'm the CEO of F7. I've got 9 companies, and all of them are variations of F7. Or, for instance, Montague Plaza, I'm the CEO of that, but it's Montague Plaza LLC. So most of my properties, like my retirement homes, those are Elders Peak. Each one of those properties are owned by a separate corporation, but I'm the CEO of those corporations.
Okay. And so this is like my first time ever hearing about, like, honestly, the real estate as like a job, a career. What exactly are especially for the youth watching, what are the different levels to it? Because you mentioned LLC, you being the CEO, and then other people owning the different companies. Like, can you explain that and like very shortly, like explain what it exactly is?
Simple. No, that's. I mean, it's just it can be complex.
Yeah.
You know, the lowest level of kind of what you can do is residential development. Say building houses. I own apartments. I own houses and things like that. Most people start out with single-family housing. They'll find a lot, they'll acquire the lot, pick out a plan for the lot, do the feasibility study, because when it comes to building whatever you build, you want to determine what the highest and best use is. So let's just say, for instance, you buy a lot in the city of Raleigh, and it's not that big. You know you can't do a big commercial development there, so you want to do a single-family house.
Yeah.
But you don't want to do a McMansion in a neighborhood of houses that's only worth about $200,000. You don't want to build $1 million house because your comparables won't be there. So what you do is you determine, based off your feasibility study, what is the highest and best use for each individual lot, each individual project, every time.
Yeah. And kind of switching gears, with the gentrification that's going on in Southeast Raleigh, could you explain a little bit about that? And like what's going on and what F7 Development is doing to help with the issue, because I know helping Southeast Raleigh is a big passion of yours.
Yeah, I mean gentrification just came in like a storm. There are whole neighborhoods that have changed now, where you used to be able to buy a house for $100,000, $200,000. You can't do that anymore. As a matter of fact, now people are buying lots for over $300,000, $400,000 and putting $1 million houses up. Those are market forces. There's nothing really that you can do about the market. A lot of people are moving here from different cities, states, and countries. They have the money to do it. You can't stop them from doing that. However, what you can do is offer opportunities for affordable housing, which is what we've done with our retirement home, with the single-family housing that we've done. We're actually working on a new project right now. It's called Falcons Point, over about a half a block from St. Augustine's University on the corner of Tarboro and Oakwood Avenue, where we'll be doing some senior affordable housing there. It's just different things that we can do to create solutions versus trying to fight the gentrification. You can't fight the gentrification, but what you can do is offer opportunities for people to stay in the communities they born and raised in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that you're doing that for people. What is the importance of owning your own property?
I see it as very important. I don't think that you can really control the neighborhood and area or your trajectory if you don't own the property yourself. If you're a renter, you can be moved back and forth. You can be kicked out. Somebody can go up on your rent. They can go up on your lease, whatever. But when you own a property, you actually control your destiny. And that's why I own all of my properties.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in myself leasing property. And I would encourage people, if you can put yourself in a position to own, do that. Even if it's not now, do it eventually.
Yeah.
I started out actually leasing property. And I did that until I could afford to put together a plan to buy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as a Gen Z myself, a lot of us are worried about owning property or owning our own home in the future. So what are some tangible steps that you would say for someone that's maybe just turning 18, getting their first credit card, to do to ensure that they're on the way to hopefully becoming a homeowner in this crazy financial time that we're in right now?
Well, first of all, I say be careful with those credit cards. A lot of people don't understand. Like when I got my first credit card, I think I was 21. I didn't know I had to pay it back. I mean, I literally thought that I could get away with not paying it back some sort of way. I could max it out, and they're not gonna find me once I get the money. That's stupid. And it take you down to a 500 credit score.
Yeah.
So what I do is be very cautious on those credit cards. Use those and never go really over 30% of whatever your limit is, because when you go over 30%, it affects your credit score. Credit scores are very important when it comes to acquiring anything, whether it's a house, a car, whatever it is. If your credit is in the toilet, it's going to be very difficult for you to buy or qualify for anything. So the first thing I do is monitor my credit. They have online things, what's it called, Experian, so that you can actually monitor and know when someone pulls your credit, because credit is very important as a young person starting out. So that's what I do. First of all, I monitor my credit very, very closely. Secondly, if I was looking to buy a property, I wouldn't really focus on buying a property in Raleigh right now. I would go on the outskirts. There are still opportunities on the outskirts. Franklin County, Nash County, Clayton, Knightdale, Wendell, areas like that. You can still get a lot or property for a pretty fair price. Raleigh is just crazy right now. So,
Definitely.
I wouldn't even really focus on trying to buy anything in Raleigh right now.
Yeah. And go ahead.
The average house price, I think, in Raleigh is like $500,000. How you gonna qualify for that getting out of like high school and college?
Right.
Yeah.
And do you see the market changing anytime soon?
No, I think for the last 25 years, people have been talking about this magical day when real estate prices would drop. They've been saying that for 25 years. They're still saying it now. Oh, the economy is going to do this. Let me give you a secret. When we went through the recession, prices actually went up. Values actually went up. Everything went up. Even in 2008, when the market tanked, it went up, and it went up higher. So it's really about supply and demand. It has nothing to do with what you think the market is going to do.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you're in an area, say in Raleigh, where it's always voted, number one, number two place in the country to move to and start a business, it's not going down. So if you're going to get in now. Don't wait 5 years from now when you think it may go down, because what's going to end up happening, it's going to go up higher.
Yeah.
So it'll be further away from you than it is right now.
Yeah.
So go ahead and start.
And would you encourage young people that want to join real estate development to be more like independent or a brokerage?
I would say see if you can get on a strong team of people that actually do this. Trying to be independent and being like I was like that because I had no choice.
Right.
There are groups out there now, there are organizations right now set up where young people are actually doing different things and initiatives. Get in one of those groups.
Yeah.
Get on a good team of people that can teach you and guide you in the right way.
Yeah. And lastly, is there any words of encouragement you have for our youth watching, or honestly anyone in the audience?
Let me see, what would I say? I would say that whatever you do, don't waste time.
Okay.
You can waste a little money because you can get money back. Time lost can never be returned. So you've got to be very cautious in how you invest your time. Don't spend your time, invest your time. So I would say understand that time waits for no one.
Yeah.
And don't get caught in a situation where you lose to the point where you can't get back up. So don't risk it all. I had to risk it all. I wouldn't recommend that because I've lost a lot trying to go through that mindset of risking it all.
Yeah.
You know, always keep enough in the tank where if everything goes wrong, you're still okay.
Yeah, financially and
Everything.
okay.
Yeah, financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, everything. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate this opportunity and just you taking time out of your day to be here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Our Youth Matters Kids Talk. I was your host, CeCe Buliro, and I hope to see you again.